All right, we are recording. Yeah, that I gotta work on that transition. I'll need to fix that. So yeah, we are part of this podcast, wrestling podcast that we're gonna do. We had guys cancel on us, or a guy cancel on us last minute. So we're gonna take this opening, to introduce everybody and to shit on Dustin since he's not here, because we know he will listen or watch this. This is the Raw Dogs Wrestling Podcast. We're just gonna group of friends that's gonna sit around talk some shit about wrestling, about each other. My name is Blake. We have Joey with us as well. Joey, do you have anything you'd like to say about yourself or Dustin?
Fuck Dustin. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. AJ? This is also AJ. Top left of your screen.
Hashtag fuck Dustin.
There we go. Okay. I like it. So yeah, we do have a couple other members. We have Dustin who will join us most times. He, I guess, had some hibachi he had to go eat. So even though we had this planned for a week to do this. And then Adam, he will join us when he can. He works second shift, so he will, some stuff. We have plans for him to join us somehow. Some special stuff we do maybe. But this podcast is mainly just going to be a shorter podcast that we're going to I think we're going to talk about Crown Jewel a little bit because it happened today. And this podcast is like mostly for testing, seeing how everything looks, how everything feels, how everything sounds, what we need to fix for the next podcast we do. That's going to be like our first official, where we're going to have some other special stuff at the end of the podcast that we do. Some little top fives and things we like the most, some like special games, this or that, who do we get rid of, who do we keep, all kinds of stuff we're going to kind of think of to have some fun on a podcast talking about wrestling. But like I said, this one's going to be a shorter one, talking about mostly Crown Jewel. Joey, you didn't watch any, correct?
Well, I saw a few highlights a while ago.
You saw a few highlights. And AJ, you watched almost all of it?
Yeah, I watched pretty much all of it, including the pre-show match that was
dedicated.
Yeah. You know, that 30 minutes that they give you, or not even 30 minutes, like 15 to 20 minutes of a pre-show match. But yeah, I did watch the full Crown Jewel.
I watched most of Crown Jewel. I did take a hour break in there because that was my lunch break at work, and I was like, hey, I'm going to go take a nap. I got a long night ahead of me with things I have to do after this podcast. So
just to be safe, you may not want to advertise this podcast to y'all's bosses at work.
Probably, but it was on in the background while I was working today. So I did watch some of it. I think the only parts I really missed was the King of the Ring and the, what do they call it? The Queen's Crown, those tournament finals. I missed those two. I think I came back right before the women's triple threat match. So I seen that. But I did see Xavier Woods, who was campaigning for King of the Ring, did get King of the Ring, so I'm pretty happy. Yeah, he did get it. So pretty
cool. King Woods
they announced him as King Xavier. I think King's Wood sounds a little better, but
King Xavier, first in his name.
First of his name, yes. Should be. I think he's going to have a lot of. I think it was, what was it, him and Balor in the finals?
Correct.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely something better suited for him than for Balor, because I don't want Balor to get. Because usually when people get
Prance anyway.
What?
He's more of a prance anyway.
Also true. Can't really. Yeah, true. That's a good point. Don't want to take it. He just got his Prince nickname back a little while ago. Don't want to take it away from him already. I guess nickname, because it was his actual name on the Indies, I guess. But I think Woods, because usually when you get the King of the Ring thing, it becomes your whole gimmick, and I don't think that would have been good for Balor. I think it's better for Woods, who, since the New Day split up, I think they kind of need something to do anyways. Thoughts?
Yeah, so, I mean, are we going right into King of the Ring, or how do you?
If we want to start the beginning, that's fine. That was the only part I missed.
Yeah, we got it. So Crown Jewel is from Saudi Arabia. Arabian Nights.
There we go.
Um,
I know Michael Cole said the name of the stadium about 3 million times.
or even the city, and I can't even remember where the city was called.
Yeah,
and I don't even want to try and butcher it.
Yeah, it started with R.
I'll let Joey handle all the butchering here for the show. But we'll start the pre-show. Pre-show was the Usos versus the Hurt Business. Hurt Business reunited again, probably like 2 weeks ago.
I don't think they ever should have split up, in my personal opinion. I think they should have been Lashley's henchmen the whole time.
Oh man, I agree for sure. Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander, I think they're pretty great talents. I mean, Shelton's been, great since the beginning, if you ask me.
I always liked him.
Yep. So we've got the Hurt Business, we've got the Usos. I mean, it was pretty blatantly obvious what they were going to do here, but it actually was a really solid match. It ended up turning into a super kick party towards the end.
Nice.
It was just like Usos was just like super kick, double super kick, and a splash. And I think it was Jay. Yeah, Jay got the pin. Makes sense, main event Jay, right? That's what we're calling him now.
It is. I something about the Usos. I'm glad that I feel like they look better with the long hair, both of them. But now that they have the separate haircuts, and I know how to tell them apart now, because I always try to look at the tattoos, and then I just get confused by the tattoos.
Yep.
And so it's like, oh, which one did Jay have? Oh, okay. But now that they have the separate hairs, I can tell them apart.
I just used to go by which one's sober.
Sure, that works too.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, the haircuts. For a little bit before Jimmy came back, Jay only had the colored hair, or the colored hair dye, and now they both have it.
Yeah.
But since Jimmy keeps fully long hair, and Jay's got like that mullet,
that weird mullet looking thing.
Yeah, mullet. Let's look, a ferret on his head, basically, is what it is.
It's not the best hairstyle, but it helps me tell them apart. So.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, nothing special about the pre-show match. It's, four good two tag teams, I should say, solid tag teams.
The Hurt Business, are they staying on Raw?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're staying with Lashley.
Yeah. After this, I do have the list of, now that Crown Jewels happened, the new rosters will take effect starting tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Tomorrow's Friday? Yeah.
Yep.
Tomorrow. So, it's going to be interesting for sure, because the draft, they made it a point to deliberately split every single tag team that they forced together, which I think is really stupid, but I think we can definitely cover that later.
Except RK Bro.
Right, yeah. I'm not an RK Bro fan. I'm not. Sorry. This is me.
No, they do not go together.
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
It's just too much. Too much for me. So the opening match, which I thought was really surprising, because the last Crown Jewel, or last Saudi show, I feel like Brock Lesnar was the opener when he was champion, because Brock knew he didn't want to stay there, so he's like, put me up first, and then I'm leaving. But the first match was the Hell in a Cell, Seth Rollins versus Edge, and
did watch this match. This match was insane. It was I felt like this was a very good match. I did have a couple of parallels between the recent cage match that happened on AEW between the tag teams, the Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers, which I don't think they went through a table, but they did the ladder flip spot, except for it was a sunset flip compared to a destroyer, and then putting something on your shoe kind of was like, okay, I see, kind of, but it was a different way they did it, which I also found out the Young Bucks have done that before, the thumbtack shoe thing. And I think they kicked the referee when they had it. Oh, they kicked Aubrey. That's what it was. The referee, Aubrey. I think that's her name. Is that her name?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. It's Aubrey Edwards.
Nailed it.
But there's, not just callbacks to competition, but they did a few callbacks from past matches, which is really cool. I really enjoy when they do those type of things. But man, they really wanted to, no pun intended, make it a little bit edgier, for sure, this match. Right out the gate, they wanted to start using a chain, or Seth wanted to use a chain and all this other stuff. So, I give it up to them. I was pleasantly surprised. though the end result is not at all what I thought they were going to do.
I didn't think they were going to do. There was a spot that I mentioned it in the chat where I said Seth was dead, and it was when he went up to the top rope and was he was facing out, so it was like he was going to do like a backflip or a moonsault or something, and he was he was perched up there, and Edge pushed him off into the cell onto a table. And it doesn't sound like a lot, really, but it looked gnarly. Like, it looked rough. That was a spot that stuck out to me. I was like, that is... But yeah, it was a very good match that they had, I feel like.
Yeah, thinking of that spot, it's like, okay, you bounce off the cage, which is like... how much space is from the cage to the ring is one.
Yeah.
And then he fell maybe 2 feet through a table to the floor.
Yeah.
It was a nice bump.
Yeah.
For him to take, for sure. And I think he took it pretty well. But I mean, going to the end result, Edge wins. And here's the thing about Edge. Edge has paid his dues, obviously. He's a Hall of Famer. He can put on still pretty damn good matches, but he doesn't need to win.
Yeah.
If you ask me, in my opinion. So, and here's the stupid thing: they're both going on to be on Raw going forward.
That's what I was thinking too, because they were talking about how this is the end of everything and blah. And that would make more sense if they were splitting up and one was staying on SmackDown or something. Right. But then I was like, they're both going to go on Raw. They're going to run into each other again, probably somehow, some way.
Right, because the whole end goal was Rollins to now potentially be in that title picture with Big E. Big E's the big baby face, and now they've got a few more heels on Raw, and Rollins perfect to face off, but it's like, well, Rollins, you just lost this match to the Edge. What makes you think you're gonna be in any type of contention? Granted, I mean, whatever booking and writing that they want to do, obviously, is not gonna matter to our own opinion, but it's like little things like that. It's like, okay, you're kind of derailing him, and I feel like,
which is something WWE's good at.
Oh, absolutely. And I feel like I'll bring this up again about derailing talent, is the Drew McIntyre in his match with Big E. Drew loses. I feel like that's momentum killer big time for him.
Yeah.
But I'll bring it up a little bit later. But yeah, I feel that Hell in a Cell match, really good start to open up a show for sure. This match was followed up by Mustafa Ali versus Mansoor, who is the hometown hero, basically. He gets the whole hero's welcome back home, and the only superstar to win in his hometown, basically.
Yes, that was, poor Ali. But yeah, the only guy that has probably one of the, ever to win. Hey, let's go home and win. It's like,
he probably told Vince, I dare you to have me lose.
Probably. Yeah, it was.
They'd definitely be going home if that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, those planes would still be on the tarmac.
Yeah. And then they had trouble coming home last time, so.
Yeah.
But hey, good thing that came out of that.
I guess the planes they got back, or they're on their way back.
They're supposed to be on their way back, because they're talking about Smackdown tomorrow, so yeah. And they were talking about people being on that show that were going to be on Smackdown tomorrow, so I'm assuming they're on their way back. But the good thing that came out of it last time is that's when Pat McAfee got his shot to announce Smackdown that time. Smackdown. Yeah, he did his Smackdown. Also, Adam Cole beat Daniel Bryan on, just throwing that out there, on that Smackdown. And I think that's probably what led into Pat doing Smackdown now, is how good he did filling in for that show. But yeah, I thought this was an okay match. This was, it wasn't, I like Ali a lot, so I think it sucks to be him because of how he had all that momentum going into what turned into Kofi Mania, and it was almost like Ali Mania, and then he got hurt, turned into Kofi Mania, and he's kind of been floating around since then. I feel like he hasn't done much since then. He did it, and he got stuck with the Retribution thing, which could have been way better. He was a good person to do that, and his heel turn, I feel like, was really good. But I feel like I'm a big faction guy. I like factions a lot. I feel like that faction was handled so poorly.
Well, here's the thing about Ali for sure. He's a tremendous talent. You know, when he first came up with the 205, when they were trying to make that approach, he was actually really good, and he's still good. He's a great talent. I feel like he's just got a really um, dealt a bad hand, like every single time.
Yeah.
For sure. Not only was it the injury that led to Kofi Mania, the whole Money in the Bank, and he's touching the briefcase, and then Brock Lesnar shows up, and he's like, "Oh my God, what am I doing?" I was like, "Dude, you're touching the briefcase. You're gonna make me believe that you're not gonna do this."
Yeah.
Then the whole Retribution stuff, and I mean, Retribution is a nightmare in its own because I feel like Vince just doesn't like factions, period, and doesn't know, and they don't know how to write around it. Like, I mean, they destroyed NWO basically. Like, they brought it back because they needed something big. They still kind of didn't know what to do with it. Same thing with Nexus and the new Nexus and everything.
Yeah, I felt like Nexus was a really good thing, and then they just kind of fumbled that one, and then and then you get the Shield. How long was the Shield actually around? Not long.
2-3 years.
Yeah, a couple years. I mean, I feel like
I don't know if maybe.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was a couple years.
Yeah.
Then you had the reunions, which kind of
doesn't help anything.
But yeah, Ali. I mean, he definitely. I'll give it up to him. Like, he definitely makes the attempt to make it work.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, that's the thing. So I give him props for that, and the whole thing with being heelish and then tagging with Mansoor. I think it was really cool. Makes sense. But obviously, they're like, well, we don't know. Then they both get drafted to SmackDown, which I think it's funny. And then they blow up a couple weeks ago on Raw. So it's like, okay, you guys got single superstars again. Whatever, not a big deal. They go out here. They have a decent, okay match. Mansoor comes out looking like the hero champ.
And then whatever goodness that match was just went in the toilet with whatever they had after this. Well, I don't know what.
Yeah. So post match, Ali's beaten down, right? Beating down on Mansoor.
Before we get there, Shield debuted November 18, 2012. They disbanded June 2nd, 2014. So about a year and a half ish that they were together.
I mean,
did they have? Well, they had reunion stuff after that, didn't they?
Well, yeah, it says that like
on the final tour for Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
And it was like probably like 5 matches, if anything.
Yeah. So, but anyway, sorry. After this match was atrocious.
Yeah. So post match, Ali's beating down on Mansoor, and some random ass music hits, and we're all like, "What the hell's going on?" The person who's supposed to come out hasn't come out yet, which now feels like an eternity has gone by. And then this guy comes out. He's dressed up in, I'd say, a white tunic and a red headdress wrapped around his face. So I think it was
supposed to look more like how the normal like Arabic, I guess that's the right way to say it, like clothes that they wear, like the big long robe and then the red thing. Right. Except he had instead of having the robe, it was very obviously a karate outfit, and he had the red belt on, and then he had the thing, but it was all the way wrapped around his face, and then and
he
Undertaker
it's basically the Taker entrance, and it's the slowest walk.
Oh, Undertaker walked. I got
you.
I mean, he walked. It took him forever to get to the ring. So not only are we waiting, like the music hits, and then we're waiting forever for him to come to the stage. He gets to the stage, and then takes forever to get to the ring. And then he gets in the ring and just stands there staring at Ali for another minute, probably just staring, and then takes the thing off. And I didn't know who the crowd exploded. Like the crowd definitely exploded. The crowd knew who he was.
Can't say that.
Okay.
The crowd
erupts. The crowd basically for this guy.
The crowd.
And we're all trying to figure out who the hell this guy is. I wrote down the guy's name. I might butcher it. Tarek Hamedi, who is a Olympian. He got silver medalist.
Yes, they said
karate.
Yes, they said he was silver medalist because I guess he got disqualified from gold. That's what I heard Michael Cole say at some point, that he got disqualified for something. So I was thinking, he got disqualified, so he didn't win anything. And then they called him a silver medalist. So I don't exactly know what happened, but at some point he was a silver medalist and also got DQ'd.
Right. So he shows up. The crowd goes crazy. Ali's like, "Oh my god, what do you do?" And he gives him this. It was pretty quick, like a really fast roundhouse to the head. It's better than what Omos does, but
yes, it
Omos does.
It was
the kick. It was like
the kick, like for how slow he walks and then how fast he kicks. It's just kind of crazy because it was exact opposites.
It was like a spinning roundhouse, or
no,
like
it was like a
roundhouse.
It was like a right out the pocket. Boom.
Yeah, just like straight up kick to the head, left kick to the head.
Oh, like a Muay Thai roundhouse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it didn't completely connect. It kind of glancing below the top of the head, probably on purpose because it's wrestling and he's not actually trying to knock him out. But he hits him once. Ali goes down. Him and Mansoor celebrate, and which also takes forever.
Yeah. I mean, 2 matches in, and this segment's already derailed the show for like 5 minutes. It seems like 10 minutes. Just
that segment derailed the show. But also something, because I know during the first match, after Edge won and had a lot of pyro, like he just won either the Royal Rumble or the main event of WrestleMania, and it's the opening match on the card. But then for Mansoor, hometown guy, no pyro. I realized that watching. I was like, there was no pyro at the end. He got nothing. I was like, that is very strange. Didn't understand.
It's true. I think the only after-ending pyro might have been the Roman. I feel like.
They might have felt he didn't need the pyro, so they saved it.
It was weird. Like
they
definitely had a pyro budget.
Yeah,
and I feel like they blew it all for Edge.
Yeah,
because.
Well, Brock had a lot of pyro. I think the women's match had a bit of pyro.
It did have pyro, and it's really funny. And I'll bring it up for the pyro. But if you noticed when each person came out, though, one had a lot of pyro, some had a little bit, and then barely had pyro, which was, I thought, pretty funny, but a little ridiculous.
Also, I don't know who was running the cameras for this show, if this was normal WWE guys running the cameras, but there was a couple of times where very botched camera swaps were happening. Like, there was one time, I don't remember which match it was. I don't remember if it was the Mansoor match or not, but there was a match where the ref's in the middle of counting a 3 count, and it just shows some random person in the crowd. It's like 1, almost 2 random person in the crowd, and I'm like, okay, and then it was like, I think it was somebody's pyro, somebody was coming out. So if like the stage is going down this way towards the ring here, pyro's going off over here, and it was like they switched the camera to get the pyro, but instead the camera's looking over here at the sky, and I'm like, okay. It was like the Edge Royal Rumble thing where they missed his first spear.
Oh yeah, that sucked.
Like, what, 9 years or something like that? Yeah. Good times.
I think... and I was trying to piece it all together, and I think the next match was
the tag match.
Tag titles?
Yeah,
right?
I think it was the Raw tag titles match, yeah.
AJ Styles and Omos versus RK Bro. Styles, Omos come out, do the normal thing. Styles gets a good pop. Real nice pop, actually, from the crowd.
Styles did get a good pop.
He gets pyro. RK Bro comes out. They stand on the stage for a little bit.
Oh, yeah, they come out like normal.
Right.
And then Riddle's like, hold on a minute. And then, like, we're waiting
scooter,
for the...
basically.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get a scooter for Randy. And then
I thought that, too.
They were going to ride scooters together. And then it was a time of, like, we're waiting way too long for this. Riddle comes out on a camel.
He gets escorted down the ramp on camelback, and Orton is standing next to the camel, trying not to either get shit on or kicked by this camel, basically.
Yeah, he was trying to walk beside it. It was hilarious just to watch, because you obviously have the guy pulling the camel down, then you got Riddle on the camel trying to dance, but his dancing is off because they're coming out to Randy's music and not his music, and so he tries to start posing like Randy on top of the camel. It was hilarious.
overall, this match was okay. I mean, we've seen it way too many times.
I don't like Omos.
Yeah, I mean, it's just proven, right? We've talked about it before, but just because you're massive, you're that's what Vince likes. You're big, you're strong, you're muscular, big beefy boys is what Vince likes.
Yeah,
and
the vascularity.
Yes, and Omos is just when he first started, I thought he was okay, but I feel like now they're limiting his moveset to only do
run over people,
to be spot, and that's it. And that's kind of taking away from his character. It's definitely bringing Styles down too, in my opinion. Styles needs to go back to being a single competitor. And apparently during the draft, they wanted to split them up. And somebody said no. I don't remember what it was. It probably was Pritchard. It was like, no, we need to keep it together. Omos can't do a singles run just yet. He's still too green.
That's very true. There's no way he'd be able to do anything singles. I noticed he is starting to talk more in the ring. Yeah. Like you can see that he's trying more stuff in the ring, but I don't know. It's just one of those things that's not clicking with me.
And here's the first time what they did. Actually, go ahead, Joey.
Why don't they have him split up from AJ and go with another wrestler that's not AJ? Because he's not going to learn anything from AJ. He's not going to do anything that AJ can do.
Here's the thing about Omos.
You say that until he hits a phenomenal forearm, and then look at you.
He'll be coming down from the sky.
Armchair quarterback over here.
There's no one I think can actually work with Omos.
I don't know.
It's very difficult.
If you take him from AJ, I don't know who you would put him with.
It'd be really difficult, I feel like. I mean, here's the thing that Braun really benefited from was working with Big Show to kind of help him out and kind of learn the ropes. There aren't that many people left in WWE that are massive people to know how to kind of get him over those obstacles that he might come across during the match. And this was the first time that they finally actually came to fruition, because they've been teasing it for weeks and probably months now, of Randy Orton fighting Omos in ring. And to be completely honest, I was terrified for Omos because Randy definitely has the pull in the back to say, if I don't like you, and he can kind of easily burn you in the back, that was going to happen to Omos, because I feel like if he takes one bump the wrong way, or he does one thing, something stupid, Randy can easily be like, yeah, no, this guy's dangerous.
Get him out.
Get him out. Right.
They should have Randy wrestle Nia Jax then.
I think they did that once.
He has RKO'd her in a Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Because she came in.
Let her get a little offense.
Let
her do a hot tag and.
Yeah, I think when she came in there, she's beating up Rey Mysterio and Dolph Ziggler, and then she got hit with a super kick and a 619 and then RKO. Yeah.
Right. So it's like, I don't know. We're definitely gonna have to see what comes out of this, for sure. But hopefully, we will never have to see this match again, because this has probably been like 126th time we've seen them fight each other.
All of these people are still on Raw, correct?
Yeah. RK Bro stayed together. Obviously, they're the tag champs. AJ Styles will not go anywhere that Paul Heyman is. So it was easy for him to stay on Raw.
Why?
Because
this is AJ Insider Beef. Okay, so for anybody watching, listening, AJ is our Dave Meltzer, basically. He's our ear to the ground. He's our inside scoop guy. I don't know anything. Is there beef between AJ and Paul Heyman?
Yes, and that is because of Heyman. You know, Heyman has certain individuals that he really likes and tries to get over.
Heyman guys.
Heyman guys that weren't, technically Heyman guys.
Curtis Axel.
But when he was part of writing and creative and booking, he made it deliberate to try and get these people over. People like Aleister Black, Andrade, Buddy Murphy.
Everybody that's good.
Everybody that I like.
Right.
I'm on board so far.
When the initial cuts were coming through the first time around. So like the first Black Friday or Black Wednesday that occurred 2 years ago, and Gallows and Anderson won on the chopping block. Heyman was telling them that he was going to make everything possible.
Yeah.
He was saying, "I'm going to get you guys not fired, right? I'm going to do everything I can not to get you fired." They get fired.
Now they're the
Heyman doesn't do
champions.
anything about it. Styles is pretty pissed off by that.
Gotcha.
So yeah, he prefers not to be anywhere because those were his best friends, obviously.
Yeah.
For a while.
Which also felt like was a very mismanaged tag team. I feel like they could have been very good.
Yeah.
And
100%.
And I actually just we cleaned out our closet, and I actually pulled out a OG BC shirt that I got from like Hot Topic, and I was like, well, there's no reason for this. Throw it out.
Yep.
So I was like, yeah, because it was such a short run that they actually were together as like all heels. Because there was like the teases of Gallows and Anderson as heels, AJ as face. There was the teases of them meeting up backstage that they did, and it was like they finally all were heels and all came together. And then it was
that the beat up John Cena phase?
Yes.
Yes. Well, okay, so maybe there was there two? Because I know they did the beat up John Cena, and then they did the original club, is what they called themselves.
Right. So there was the beat up.
They
John
did it
Cena
a couple
phase.
times, I think.
Both were fantastic.
That was right when Styles really started his real run.
Yeah.
Then they split again because of the draft, and then they were always on the other show and vice versa. And then it wasn't until the feud with Taker is when they started getting back together again.
Yeah.
And they started doing stuff. But yeah, that was one reason. And then when his son started playing high school football, the game's on Friday, he didn't want to be on Smackdown because he would miss the game. So those were the two reasons. So I feel until the end of his contract, he'll be on Raw permanently.
Poor guy.
But yeah, hopefully we'll never have to see this tag match again. The Street Profits now are on Raw. So Profits and RK Bro, I think, would be really great. You know, we've got a little taste of that this past Monday before Styles and Omos got interfered. But
yeah, I did remember seeing a clip of that.
A little AJ Styles trivia. Last time he was here in our area in Arkansas, he had his Xbox stolen. And me and Blake was at that show.
He did. We went to a live show that it's about 40 minutes from us, maybe 35 minutes from us. Yeah, we went to. It was just a live house show, and then like we go to the show, good time, leave the show. It was like, and then we seen on the internet that he was talking about his Xbox and stuff got stolen.
And we just got back from the show, went home and played Xbox all night.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, and then this is it right there, you know. We didn't really steal AJ Styles' Xbox.
Just sure.
Throwing it out there.
It was probably Dustin, though.
Probably Dustin did it. Just put it on Dustin.
Yeah. So, tag match goes after this. We've got
there was a thought I had while we're still on the tag team match, because there was a thought I had about Riddle in the match, because obviously Riddle's very good. Do either of you see Riddle as a WWE champion or Universal champion?
No,
because I don't.
Personally, no.
Not the way they're having him act now. No.
Like
I don't think that's them having him act that way. I think that's him naturally.
Yeah. Yes, that's very true, and I don't want him to really change that, because he seems like he's having a lot of fun. I really like Riddle, but just watching how I don't know if it's how he acts or just his presentation. I don't know, because I know they never put the NXT championship on him, which I feel like he could have done. But in a minute, hold on one second. Okay.
We'll edit that out.
He's gonna say it 13 times. I feel like the way that they like, it was just a random thought I had watching the match. Like, I just don't know if, because I was thinking about the RK Bro split, that it's eventually going to come. Obviously, when Randy just RKO's him for whatever reason.
Matt.
Yeah.
Into oblivion.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes. Out of nowhere. It was just the random thought I had. I was like, I don't know if they split. Like, what would Riddle do? Like, I don't
Well, that's probably going
Riddle.
to be a WrestleMania match. The way
Yeah.
WWE always works, that's a WrestleMania match.
Okay. And I'm going to be right back. You two carry the show for just a minute.
Yeah. So here's the thing about Riddle. Um, I think he's an incredible talent for sure. Uh, I think of all of the people with an MMA background, he's made the transition actually really, really well. But as a singles competitor, he was the United States champion for a little bit. He was really kind of a placeholder champion because they did want to originally put that belt on Keith Lee, but then Vince was like, I don't like Keith Lee. Um, so I think that's really as far as I think his potential will go. If he somehow makes a main event push for a WWE championship opportunity, it definitely will be a surprise. But from right now, all four of those competitors, and I even think this for AJ Styles, won't be WWE champion for a while or ever again, to be honest. I think Randy Orton is a 14-time champion, and this was funny because Michael Cole said this. He's like, he's a 14-time world champion. The only other people to have more reigns than him are Triple H, John Cena, and then he said Ric Flair, and I was like, oh man, Michael Cole's not making it back home because he said Ric Flair.
I saw something about that. Yeah. If they would have Riddle do more like a stoner Kurt Angle type thing, I could see him in the main event doing that, but like a Randy Orton fanboy, whatever he's doing now, that's not it.
Yeah, and we don't know how long this tag team run is gonna to last, right? We're all calling it. We're all thinking Randy's gonna turn on Riddle. But after that, they all become single competitors, let's say. But down the line, I really don't see. They'll have title opportunities, but they'll never win the belt again. I think Styles is a 2-time WWE champion. And I really don't see him. I think he's probably got like a year, maybe 2 left on his contract. He says he wants to retire when the contract's up. With all the hype of Impact getting a little steam again with AEW, we don't know if he might think about those things. Randy Orton, we don't know when Randy Orton's going to retire. I definitely don't see Randy Orton being like a Undertaker or a Goldberg or a Hulk Hogan, where Vince is going to be like, hey, Randy, I need you to come and do this show for me. I don't think he'll ever be at that level. When he'll retire, who knows? Riddle, same thing. I think he could still go, but like I said, I really don't see him being main event type status. If it does, I feel like so many other people need to get out of the way for that to happen. But I feel like that's the same way I feel about Keith Lee as well. Like they're like right there, but Vince wants them to be like there, and they're like here, and that's as far as they'll ever get. They'll definitely hit that glass ceiling for sure.
I don't know. I think Randy will get probably one more title run, like when he goes to retire, kind of like the last little tour, just one. He's not going to break a record with it, so
No.
it's
No.
they'll maybe let him have one more.
Yeah, I don't. To be honest, I really have no clue if they're ever gonna do this record thing again. I really don't think so. And here's the thing about Randy, his last run that he had with the belt, and this was really stupid why they did this. Drew was champion. I think he was a really good champion, especially for this Superdome COVID era, no fans. I think he did a really good job holding it down. And then he loses this Hell in a Cell match to Randy Orton, but to win it in a last man standing match like the next pay-per-view or next couple pay-per-views over. And when they put the belt on Randy, I was like, okay, why? It didn't make sense. That's why I really don't think he's gonna get another title run. mainly because they really have no clue what they're going to do with him, unless they're going to turn him super heel and they somehow bring back the Authority again, and he's the face for the Authority. But I don't. I think Randy Orton's done as being a champion, to be honest. I think this tag title thing might be his last belt that he wins.
That could have been before when he was champion. When they made him that, it's just he's a credible heel, and they had him there built up just for Drew to beat him.
Who?
Yeah. You know. We're talking about Randy, and when eventually all these 4 stars, these 4 competitors become single stars, I really don't think any of them will be WWE champion in the future.
Yeah, he said Randy will never win another match.
Yeah, I didn't say another match. What the fuck?
Clip it.
Chloe,
you heard it here first.
But I really don't. I mean, with the whole last run that he had, where he was heel and then he's facing Drew McIntyre, and obviously that was the only match that we got for like 5 months straight. And that one random match in Hell in a Cell, Drew loses it, and then for Randy to have the belt and then lose it like a few pay-per-views later, it just didn't make sense. And that's why I really don't think he'll get. He definitely won't be breaking the 16-time world champion.
He's 14, bid. Right?
Yeah, he's 14. Yeah. But he definitely. I don't think anybody will be that 14, that 16 again. Like they got Cena, they got Triple H, Randy Orton, and Ric Flair. I don't think anyone's going to be approaching those numbers for the foreseeable future with whoever the champions are.
Because now they're kind of back on the kick of really long title runs.
Yes.
Like, I think they've been doing that because they were talking about, with Roman and Brock, they were talking about that Roman is only second in Universal title run to Brock. For Brock did it for like 500-something days. 503, maybe, I don't remember what it was. But Brock and Roman's closing in on that.
Yep.
So I think they're back into that kind of thing.
Yep.
Which I think is good, especially when you have a character like Roman, how Roman's doing his character right now, how Brock did his, the dominant, nobody could stop me.
Here's the difference, though. Roman is actually competing
every
month
week
to month.
Yeah,
every week.
Exactly.
To
he's on
Brock
the show.
James.
He's on the show every week. He's showing up, even if he just shows up. Which is another thing. Tangent of we'll probably get to it eventually. But Roman, it's funny that they put Brock or they put Paul with Roman, and then it seems like Roman didn't Roman needs a mouthpiece. People said it forever. Roman needs a mouthpiece. Roman needs somebody to talk for him. And then Roman goes heel, and they put Paul Heyman with him, and it doesn't seem like he needs a talker because he seems like he's been delivering promos just fine.
Yeah, but that's because they took things in their own hands finally.
Yeah.
They're not having someone, force feed you to read something off a sheet.
Somebody that doesn't know professional wrestling coming in to write lines for professional wrestlers.
Right, exactly.
Go back to the way it was in the 90s.
Right. With that side tangent, the next match I think was the Queen's Crown final.
I think so, because that's where I got up and left.
Yeah, so Queen's Crown final. The finals was Selena Vega versus Doudrop.
Terrible name.
Formerly known as Piper Niven.
Yeah,
on the
much
Indies,
better name.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've got, I got statistics for this Queen's Crown tournament and how bad it's been.
He's got stats.
It's been really bad. Like, we don't know why this existed. I feel like I know they want to put on a show that says, hey, we've got female superstars and competitors who can go, but then you don't give them the time to go.
Yeah.
So we've got first round,
classic
Selena.
WWE.
Right, exactly. Selena versus Toni Storm, who, looking at the tournament bracket itself before these matches started, I would have picked Toni Storm to win.
Yeah.
Selena versus Toni Storm goes 2 minutes and 13 seconds. Total match, 2 minutes.
Nice.
Carmella versus Liv Morgan goes 1.5 minutes. Shayna versus Dana on Raw, 1 minute and 22. Natalya versus Doudrop, almost 3 minutes, 2:59.
Iron Man.
Carmella versus Selena. 2 minutes and 41 seconds.
This is hilarious.
Shayna versus Doudrop. 2 minutes and 46 seconds.
Doudrop actually beat Shayna like clean.
Yes, she was in the, the rear naked choke, and Doudrop goes like this.
What happened to Shayna?
She was breaking arms just like a week or two ago, right?
They've really screwed Shayna for sure.
I mean, it's typical NXT call up situation.
Yeah. And I don't know if she's even got any backlash, to be honest, with Ronda leaving, because they had that build up of 4 horsewomen versus Ronda's 4 horsewomen essentially.
Is Ronda gone?
Yeah, she's trying to make babies or something.
I would say yes, she's gone.
Cause I don't
think fully, because commentator still brings up Ronda Rousey, and so does Becky. So I feel like if you're gone and you cut their ties, they would refrain from using people's names altogether. So I feel like there's a possibility, but I know she doesn't want it, and I definitely know the fans don't want it, because
it's probably they want to use her name for the name value.
Yeah.
They don't.
And I think
they're mad at her, so they're not using it.
She's she did her heel turn, but then couldn't handle the heat that came with a heel turn.
Yeah.
Like she was taking everything super personal.
Too serious.
Yeah.
Too serious.
Like, hey, you're not in the UFC. Calm down.
Yeah.
You guys really fucking hate me?
But yeah, I really thought Shayna was gonna be a shoe-in for sure for the final, and then they put Doudrop over her, and cool. Doudrop, new face, new name, gets a little bit of push here and there, but even the competitors that they have in this tournament, how crappy their 50-50 booking has been with all of them, there is no clear winner of who was going to be like, oh damn, we know we're going to see them in the final.
Yeah.
And then they just, pull the rug out from underneath you for sure. But just the times for these matches, they're barely breaking 3 minutes. It's like you want to do something special, but then you don't give them the time, and you just shit on all of them. And the results of these matches are usually distraction finishes, roll-ups, distraction finish, roll-up. It's like, what the fuck are you gonna do now?
How was the crowd in these matches, the women's matches? Were they more quiet or?
No, I didn't watch this match. Like I said, this is right when I took my lunch break and got up from my desk, which it was on this monitor. So if the angle, I could still see it late when I went and laid down in bed because I had it on still. I just muted it. By the time
the only time you didn't watch when you was
I took a nap.
Not on break. Okay.
I took a nap on my lunch break.
You only watched during working hours. Gotcha.
Had it on while I worked. By the time that I got up during the entrances, I think Zelina entrance just started. I didn't even see Doudrop at all. I just seen start of Zelina's entrance. I got up. By the time I got up, I think I might have went and got something to drink and then laid down in my bed. The match was over and Zelina was celebrating. Like, I think this was also a short match, so I don't know how that went to this. But the other one was, I think the reaction was fine. I think it was a normal.
Yeah. So, for the normal matches, all these the beginner, semis, whatever, or quarters, fine, semis, and whatever. The crowd.
I have to put a flash warning on this video for Joey's TV.
The crowd.
The photosensitive seizure warning.
Yeah.
The crowd's like specific stars, obviously.
Yeah.
So they're going to cheer for obviously reasons, but I feel like a lot of people do leave because they know they're not going to get to see anything, because it's going to be like 1, 2, 3, distraction, pin.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, roll up.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fluff. I mean, there's not even enough to be fluff, to be honest. But this one, I give it to the Saudi crowd. They cheered for everything, every match that they were getting, because it's something that they normally don't get all the time. So obviously they're going to be excited for it. It was definitely toned down for this match, I feel like. and I don't even remember how long it went. I do feel like it was quick, easy, whatever. Selena hit her finisher, which is the Code Red, which is basically a forward flipping power bomb with the pin, and
Sunset flip.
yes, yeah, basically a flipping sunset flip with the pin,
This
and
this match was 5 minutes and 55 seconds.
oh man, they broke the record there, but still, it's like
It was
another barely 5 minutes. But
obviously the shortest match by far. The next shortest match was the tag team match, the RK Bro and AJ Styles and Omos. It was 8 minutes and 40 seconds.
oh, does that include the Riddle's entrance there? Because that was probably like 2 minutes by itself.
I don't think I would assume this is bell to bell, but
Bell to bell,
I don't
most
know.
likely. But yeah, Selena makes the pin. Dewdrop can easily kick out, but because her arms were going like this, and yeah, she wins, which is smart. Selena is a heel. She can easily play the stuffy crowd and crown queen.
Yeah,
Look at me, everything like that. So it definitely helps her character further. They're both on Raw, I think, going forward, so they can run it back if they want. They probably will because that's what they do. But yeah, it was okay. Like we got a winner, Zelina. I'm okay with the end result being Zelina Vega. I like Zelina Vega, but overall, the tournament itself has been less than desirable for sure. Like I think they wanted to call it Queen of the Ring, but they ran into some issues with that name, so they call it Queen's Crown. But again, I understand you want to showcase your women because other people are doing it better than you.
why did they run into issues with the name? Because I was thinking that as well. Why didn't they call it Queen of the Ring?
I don't remember.
Like a trademark thing or something.
It might have been. I don't know what it was though.
I know it's also probably hard to like market a queen of the anything when you have one of your biggest female stars that you market already as queen.
Right.
Doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Right. So yeah, it's been difficult for everyone else when they only want to showcase the names of Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, a little bit of Sasha Banks,
A little bit of Bianca.
a little bit of Bianca now, and then Asuka and Bayley at the time too. So those are really the only people.
Where is Asuka now that you say that? Is she hurt?
She is hurt.
Okay,
yeah.
I just realized when you said it, I just like obviously whenever you were naming off people, I obviously thought Bayley as well, which I also asked today when was Bayley coming back. But when you said that, and you said Asuka, I was like, I just realized I haven't seen Asuka in forever.
It was a shoulder or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like shoulder or elbow.
Yeah, I saw her online in a sling.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you're not those few that we just listed off, you're really not going to get the day of time, basically, which is pretty sad for sure. And it's difficult because there are a lot of other people that they said they've been called up but haven't showed their face yet are actually pretty good talents, like Dakota Kai, Ember Moon, but she was really injury prone. Hashtag Dollar Shave Club.
No.
Called up Alexa Bliss, but she hasn't.
Alexa Bliss is also a big name. Like she's been champion, right? So it's not like they don't like her. Or like I feel like Rhea kind of got that treatment. They kind of just tossed her aside, basically. I mean, she's tag champ, but still.
That tag team also doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. Ember Moon, Rhea Ripley. I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens, really. I think this was followed up by... Was it?
This was the... Wow. Oh, wow. I just... Looking at this, the next match...
was it Goldberg versus Lashley?
They went 11 and a half minutes?
That's the longest Goldberg has ever had a match in his entire life.
Like, I was just looking at the times over here and wasn't looking at the names. And then I was like, oh, what's the next match? Goldberg defeated... And he beat Lashley?
Yep. Those princes over there love Goldberg. Oldberg, basically.
I wonder how sore Lashley is going to be tomorrow. after having an 11-minute match with Goldberg.
The end, he took a crazy ass bump. So this was so stupid. Like, we all want Lashley to win. We all know it was gonna happen, and it was gonna be Goldberg winning because of that whole story with his son Gage. It's like, whatever. It was a stupid story to begin with. The match at SummerSlam was stupid. It was really bad. No sell, shit ass old man Goldberg, basically.
Not a Goldberg fan, are you?
What, me?
No.
Him. Oh, him. Oh, yeah, no.
I mean,
he almost pulled his Goldberg shirt out of the closet for this podcast.
I mean, he's dangerous. I mean, Goldberg is dangerous. He's probably more dangerous now than he was back in the 90s, and that's
like the Bret Hart.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, you should hate Goldberg too because I do hate him. Hero. Yeah, exactly. So I don't.
Favorite wrestler of all time.
It's the hate Goldberg train right now, just like the hate Dustin train. Dustin is Goldberg.
Goldberg, Dustin, same person.
Same thing, exactly, same thing. So, match starts. Lashley's pretty dominant. He's doing a pretty good job. He's beating the shit out of him. No sell, basically. So apparently, after that SummerSlam match, Goldberg did have knee surgery. So he's got this brace on and everything. So he's targeting it. There was one spot that Lashley sets up a table in the corner. He goes to spear Goldberg. Lashley goes through the table, literally cuts it almost perfectly in half. Granted, they are gimmick tables, but it literally just cuts perfectly. Goldberg hits a spear, jackhammer, and basically after those two moves, the entire match is completely different, and Goldberg is completely owning Lashley. Fast forward, end of the match, they're both fighting on the stage. Hurt Business comes out with kendo sticks. They go to attack Goldberg. He fights them both off, whatever. Lashley has a kendo stick. Goldberg picks one up from the ground. This was such a bad tell. Lashley's going like this, which seems like forever, so that Goldberg can come up to him and hit him in the stomach.
Yeah, I hate that when they,
The worst tell ever.
For the back body drop, like, way early.
Yeah. So, he hits him, and then here's the spot. They're on the stage. Goldberg spears Bobby off the stage through a table, which probably seems like 5 feet to the ground. And then that's how he wins. Yeah. It was just like
11.5. Was this no false count anywhere?
Yeah, no holds barred false count anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. I think they even changed the stipulation to this one too. It was no holds bar, and it might have been they added the false count anywhere stipulation.
That's what the stipulation for this was: no holds barred false count anywhere match.
Probably what it was.
I noticed that this morning, and I was like, who gives a shit?
They knew the finish they wanted to do, but there's like, well, how do we get him back to the ring and do that? And there's like, well, just make it false count anywhere.
Most likely, but it was shitty. I mean, you completely, again, this was another point where I feel like you're deliberately killing Bobby a little bit. Like, you're derailing him 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Because, he loses the WWE title to Big E, which was great. I feel like they should have had a rematch match, and I don't think they ever had one. He goes right into the feud with Goldberg because he comes back from surgery, and he's like, I need, again, his contract stipulation always says Goldberg needs to have 2 matches a year. And obviously this was probably a special request by the whatever prince over there in Saudi Arabia that's like, I need to have Goldberg on the show. So crazy. They come back, which totally makes sense now because I was like, well, he had his 2 matches. The second match was the SummerSlam. Technically, he don't owe them anything anymore. But yeah, obviously, he got a big payday for Saudi for sure. But yeah, Bobby doesn't get his rematch, goes into Goldberg match. They have this feud for maybe about like a month and a half, back and forth promo. Now here's Crown Jewel. They have the match. Bobby loses. Bobby's staying on Raw. So what the hell's next for them is the question, basically. Is the Hurt Business going to go for the tag titles? Bobby definitely can't be in the title picture right now. So yeah, it's definitely interesting to see.
I feel like on Raw we're gonna have one of those, especially since the rosters have reset. It'll be RK Bro comes out and talks, and then you'll have Street Profits come out, and then you'll have Hurt Business come out, and then you'll have somebody else come out, and just Omos and AJ will obviously come out. So you'll have all those, and then there'll be some kind of weird everybody fights everybody match.
Right, that, and they'll probably be like, we're going to have a number one contender for Big E because he fought Drew. Drew's going to SmackDown. We're going to throw in XYZ competitors and see what happens, who comes out. So that, well, actually, they wouldn't have a match at next pay-per-view Survivor Series, so that's Raw versus SmackDown all the way anyway. So they're not going to be these, single brand matches probably, but
that's true.
And they might continue the feud with Drew or something.
Which I don't think that. Which for well, I don't know if they'll continue the thing with Drew because Roman's champ and Roman's not losing that title between now and then, and I don't think between Roman and I think Brock will probably get involved in anything Roman does in the future because I don't think they're done.
Oh, yeah, they're definitely not done for sure. Moving on, because I definitely don't want to keep talking about Oldberg anymore. After that was, where's my list? Finn and Woods.
Yep, Finn and Woods.
For the King of the Ring finals. So these matches were actually pretty solid throughout the tournament. I believe the first round we had Sami Zayn defeat Rey Mysterio. And Finn beat I don't even remember, Cesaro, which was a banger of a match. I was like, damn, you really put Cesaro and Finn right out the gate. Definitely killed it. I mean, I love Cesaro. Cesaro's a great wrestler.
It's one of my favorites.
And I really enjoyed when he had his run with Roman. I think that was probably some of the best wrestling that both of them and storytelling that they could put on. But obviously Cesaro is, Cesaro, he can deliver with anybody, I feel like. Cesaro can easily be like a modern age Mr. Perfect who kind of gives it all and can't have a really bad match. That's just me.
We're going to insert the clip of from WrestleMania of Cesaro spitting Seth Rollins.
Yeah, exactly.
Because WWE didn't show it enough after WrestleMania.
That's true. And on the Raw side, Xavier Woods
beat Ricochet.
Which I thought was a little weird. And then Kofi
beat Jinder.
Kofi versus Jinder.
Yeah.
Jinder beats Kofi.
Yep.
And what everybody wanted was that New Day, face. Yeah. Kofi versus Xavier, face versus face. Obviously, WWE doesn't like doing that. But for how much Xavier Woods was advocating for, this King of the Ring tournament, for him to be the new king, and for him to have something, Big E and Kofi have WWE championship runs.
Yeah.
This would be his main prize.
Yeah.
I feel like they needed to have that match, one, because not only is it New Day, but I feel like that's a passing the torch for Kofi to Woods.
I can see that.
And I think they needed that, especially for storytelling. I think it probably makes it a little bit better for Woods. But obviously they were like, haha, Jinder, rip the rug from underneath you.
Somebody backstage really likes Jinder, and I want to know who it is.
Beats me. It might be Finlay. No, I'm kidding. It's probably Jamie Noble. Or Jason Jordan, probably. That likes Jinder. So semis... Woods beats Jinder, makes sense. Finn versus Sammy, they actually have a really good match, but obviously we know Sammy's definitely not going to Saudi Arabia. He probably wouldn't make it getting off the plane, if you ask me, for obvious reasons. And
did they know the whole time that the finals were going to be in Saudi?
Yes.
Why would they put him in the match at all then? Because he's going to lose.
I know. Yeah.
Like, why put him in the tournament?
That's why I thought it was funny, and I was like, damn, how I was like, I'm surprised they let him out of the first round. To be honest,
I don't know why you would put him in the first round. That's just mean to him. It's a conspiracy against Sami Zayn. It is. He's been saying it the whole time. He's right. It's a conspiracy against Sami Zayn.
Probably. Vince just hates Sami.
If he made it to the semifinals, he would be fun if he just got himself counted out to lose on purpose because she's like, I ain't fucking go.
I ain't putting up with this shit. But yeah, SmackDown delivers really good matches. Obviously, Raw gives you the underdog story. Cool. So we've got set for the finals. Finn, Woods. Really good match. It was a really good back and forth. I personally would have been totally fine with either of them winning. I'm just a Finn fan, so I was like, okay, whatever. But this is a really good crowning achievement for Woods. It definitely is. It adds to his character. So it's that personal, emotional story that you want to get out of it.
Yeah.
So kudos to him. I think it definitely was a right choice. And I think about it, and I've been listening to a couple other people talk about if Finn wins. Let's say Finn won. What value would that give Finn?
Yeah.
Him winning the tournament is beneath Finn, is what everyone was saying. I guess, right? Whatever. He probably wouldn't do anything with the gimmick anyways.
Yeah.
Like, Woods is gonna run with this gimmick now.
Oh yeah.
Or till the wheels fall off, basically. Yeah. And it's like, oh my god, if they let Finn win, it's kind of like them giving him a treat for them fucking him over as the demon from the gift of God of the ropes falling from underneath him against Roman. Which, again, they also just like, yeah, that shit didn't happen. Like, they completely just not acknowledge it anymore. Which is probably better for Finn, because he can just move on with his life. But, yeah, if Finn wins, it probably provides zero value to his character whatsoever. So it does make sense for Woods to win.
I don't know if this is a popular or unpopular opinion. I think I'm good with that, with the demon never coming back. Is that just me?
I personally like the demon character.
I think whenever
but they don't know what to do with it.
That could be it. But since
I did it in NXT.
Yes, since I think mine is since he switched to the more serious Finn that he's been, the Prince, basically, since when he went back to NXT and then came back. Since he did the Prince persona switch, whatever you want to call it, gimmick, whatever you want to call it. Since he's done that, I don't think he needs the demon. In my opinion, I feel like he's more serious about it. I feel like it makes him seem tougher now that he doesn't do that. But
yeah, he doesn't need the demon gimmick.
But it could honestly be that they just don't know what to do with it, which is the same thing that happened with the Fiend and Bray Wyatt. They just didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, they don't know what to do with it. Obviously, he doesn't need it because he's really good right now as the Prince, like you said. But I think they wanted to bring the demon so that they can kind of give more credit to Roman winning. But really, he didn't really win that match if you think about it. Yeah. He won. He's the champion still, but he didn't win, really.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, oh man, they bring the demon back. No one's beating the demon, and they're like, oh, we're going to have Roman do it.
And they do the weird thing with the music and the heartbeat. It was kind of weird from the clip that I seen.
It was weird, and that was the very first time they did that.
Yeah.
And it was, again, see, it's like you do these little things, these nuances, and you think people are going to like it, or like, oh, bring something supernatural to it, and really you're just
making it kind of corny.
Yeah, you're like, what the fuck is this? What am I going to do with this? But yeah, I mean, good for Woods. I'm definitely intrigued on what they're going to do now. I think Woods and Kofi are going to SmackDown.
Yes, and Big E staying on Raw, which I also thought was weird.
Yes. And they're stupid because they had these draft plans and they're like, oh, we're going to keep them all together, but Big E will get a singles run. Like, the New Day will be together, but obviously Big E will be the single star. And look, they split them up again. So it's like...
Weird.
Yeah.
And then Big E beat Drew in their match, which it was alright. I mean, they had a couple of cool things in it.
Yeah, it was okay. They had a couple nice spots. It was more like towards the end. Big E wanted to do the big ending from the second rope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he did a cool like the
bulldog, I think.
Yeah, it ended up being a bulldog, which was I was kind of. But then the final big ending that Big E did, where he like did the whole, it was almost like a sidewalk slam that he flipped Drew's massive ass up over his shoulder, testament to how strong Big E is, and so he spun him around and then did a big ending. Which it was kind of weird because after he did it, he walked in circle for a minute trying to find hard cam so that then he could do it because he always does it facing hard cam.
Yep.
And it was like he spun him up and then he had to turn for a minute and then dropped him. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, so Big E wins. It's not a real surprise. Obviously they want to do as much as they can with Big E. But here, this completely, I feel like, derails Drew going forward. Because Drew had a feud with Jinder, Veer, and Shanky for like a couple months, and that fucking went nowhere. That was probably one of the dumbest things ever. It was just so that Jinder can finally come back into some type of main event picture and be relevant. That did absolutely nothing for him. Obviously, he came out on top of that. He can't beat Bobby, so their last match, he could never challenge for the WWE Championship. He lost because of MVP. So he was basically a floater for a good majority of this time up to this point. Jinder feud doesn't do really anything for him, even though he comes out on top. Big E becomes champion, so he's like, well, let me get one last hurrah on Raw, basically. And, okay, whatever. The whole, but can they coexist angle comes into play for weeks on end. They've got these forced tag team matches between the two competitors, like WWE likes to do.
I hate those.
I hate the feuding tag team. I hate that.
Exactly. So they do that for weeks on end. Can they coexist? Of course they're not going to fucking coexist. They're supposed to have a match.
And when it happens, they're always going to get the tag titles. Whoever it is, they kind of did it with RK Bro a little bit, where it's like, hey, we're going to feud with them and they win the tag. Yeah.
I think the last time they successfully did that, and I'm probably wrong, but the last one I can remember is when John Cena and Shawn Michaels were feuding for WrestleMania 23.
I had John Cena in my head, and I couldn't remember who his partner was.
It was Shawn Michaels at the time.
Yeah.
The only time it worked out good was Sheamus and Cesaro.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And they actually turned it into a tag team and then split them up.
Really good. Yeah. Well, they was a tag team for a while, but
they were good.
That was a really good tag team. I'm so sad that they broke them up, but whatever. But yeah, Drew comes out of this match with a big ol' L. He's going to Smackdown.
I wonder if they look. Speaking of that, like Drew coming out with a big L, I wonder if they just look at these things, which the way they do 50-50 booking wouldn't surprise me at all. Do they look at these things like, oh, well, that show happened in Saudi Arabia, that's over there, the draft takes place tomorrow. This is a fresh start, nothing else matters, Drew is a whole new guy. It's like,
even if they do that.
That's true, but it also that continuity. I mean, you kind of need something.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. Drew is really the only other big, quote-unquote, big guy that would be able to be a contendership to Roman. And we all know Roman's not losing.
Yeah.
So that's just, you force feed these things where his next title opportunity, he's not going to win.
I also hate, hate's probably a strong word, because I really like Drew McIntyre. I don't like face Drew McIntyre. I don't feel like he's as good when he's a face. He's much better as a heel. There's people out there like AJ can do either one. AJ Styles can do either one.
Well, he's really, really good though.
You have people like that can do either one, and it's like I'm trying to think. Like Rollins can kind of do either one.
Nah,
Rollins is definitely better as a heel.
He's definitely better.
Definitely better as a heel. I like Drew as both, but I do prefer him, as a heel. He, yeah, like just to name a few for SmackDown, quote unquote, top competitors who you can see in a title picture. Drew would have to face the likes of Cesaro, which would be a great match. Sheamus again, Nakamura, Shinsuke's still there, but I don't know if they even like Nakamura, to be honest. And really, that's about it. And then Roman, like that's their top talent, top tier guys.
Yeah.
For competition for Roman Reigns is not gonna get any easier or better for SmackDown going forward, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on from that, we've got the triple threat: Banks versus Lynch versus Bel Air for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Surprisingly, I think Sasha got the biggest pop out of the three of them. Becky came out, she got her pyro. Sasha came out, she's on the ring apron, she got her pyro. This is funny. Bianca comes out, does her kiss thing to the crowd, and gets like sparklers, I feel like. It was just like,
yeah.
And then that was it. I was like, damn, everyone got these massive, elaborate pyros, and Bianca barely got anything. Match turns out to be pretty good.
I feel like
only thing is,
I feel like there's a WrestleMania spot, kind of like I mentioned, the Cesaro spinning Seth Rollins. I feel like they're gonna play the Bianca, what is it? Press.
the one press.
Yeah, she
left.
pressed Sasha Banks. I think it was Sasha. She had Sasha press and then just put one hand down and just had one arm holding her up. I'm sorry, like because they said that talking about her being the EST. They said strongest out of her being the EST. They said strong. One of those things was like strongest about 74 times. Talking about how strong Bianca is.
Bianca is. Yeah. I mean, she was. She picked both of them up.
Yeah.
There are a couple of sloppy spots. I think there was a missed spot by Sasha. They were doing Becky and Bianca were doing a bridge to come up, and Sasha was supposed to get on top of it, and she took too long.
Yeah, it was.
And it was
weird.
just like.
Yeah, she's kind of laid on top of him. I was like, is she trying to pin him or?
Yeah, I was like, are you going for a pin, and then that's when the bridge was supposed to happen?
Yeah.
But the bridge was like halfway up, and then Sasha got on top.
Yeah.
That was that one spot. And there was another spot towards the end. It was, again, Bianca doing her strength stuff. And, like, Sasha was supposed to get on her back and, like, completely fell off.
Yeah.
It was a solid match for sure. There were some rush spots for sure. But Becky barely does anything in this match. She kind of gets her ass kicked. So she kind of, plays the heel role and hides away in the corner. And, yeah, at the end, I think it was, what was it? I think Bianca hits the KOD on Sasha, or no, she hits the KOD on Becky.
Sasha
goes in. Yeah, Sasha comes in.
Yeah,
throws Bianca out.
Well, no, she tried to throw Bianca out.
Reverses. Sasha goes out. Bianca's gonna go for the pin. Sasha pulls her out. They fight. Sasha comes back in and then gets rolled up for the pin, and Becky holds the ropes for the roll up.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
So it was like, okay, whack ass finish for a really good match, but again, we knew it wasn't gonna change. It would have been, if there was a title change, it would have been really. It would have had to start on Raw when Bianca took on Charlotte for the Raw title. Bianca would have had to win there. She goes in to Crown Jewel as a champ, and then Sasha would have to beat Becky because Sasha's going back to SmackDown. Becky and Bianca are on Raw, but now they're gonna make this odd titles change between Becky and Charlotte because obviously they're planning to do that match for SummerSlam. Vince's two top girls fighting each other to see who's better.
I don't like Charlotte. But yeah.
I don't like either of them.
I like Becky.
I don't like Becky.
I like Becky. I don't like Charlotte.
Becky sounds like a fucking seal when she talks.
Okay, Adam.
I didn't say she was ugly because her accent.
Hey, did you know that joke? I think you know that.
It's not a joke. He was serious.
Oh yeah, he said that Peyton Royce, now FKA, now Peyton Royce, Cassie Lee, I believe is her name now. He said she was ugly because of her voice.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because of how she talks. It was hilarious. It was a good time.
Well, I mean, Adam's ugly to begin with anyway. So. It's got to project, I guess.
Oof. It's gonna be weird. But and then we had Roman with Paul Heyman, kinda. That's what this thing says. Roman with Paul Heyman, kinda. I say kinda. Defeated Brock Lesnar by pinfall. I think this was a good match. This is probably one of the matches that I feel like Brock put the most effort into. Maybe since the Finn match, his Finn match at I think he fought Finn at Rumble a few years ago. I also didn't realize this is Brock's first match in almost 2 years.
Yeah, because he didn't have a contract. His contract expired, and they never negotiated afterwards.
But I feel like this was he's put the most effort into this match, and it showed, and I really enjoyed this match. It was really good.
It was a good match.
I also mentioned in our chat, our Discord chat, it was like, if you would have told 2018, if you would have went back to 2018 and told 2018 me, hey man, you're going to be excited for a Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar feud, 2018 me would have beat your ass. Like, because there's no way I would
used to hate Brock all the time. He's never there. I'm like, he's like the final boss kind of thing. He ain't got to be there all the time.
Yeah.
And he hated it.
You didn't like it either, so shut up.
I understood it though.
Oh, but you didn't like it.
I did not like Rollins.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you'd have told 2018 me that this was happening, and I would have enjoyed it, yeah, I would have been like, you're stupid, get out of my face, time traveler.
Yeah, so we've got the tribal chief in Paul Heyman, and we've got Prince Goro, Brock Lesnar. And I gotta say, the story for this match is really, really good. Paul Heyman is doing such an exceptional job trying to teeter that line.
And I haven't seen a lot of it on SmackDown, but I feel like the way they've been playing it is perfect. And Brock actually being able to handle a microphone in this is great. Where he was like, when the clip that I seen the most was when they do the contract signing and Brock just takes the contract and signs it and throws it down. And Roman starts laughing at him. He's like, oh, you're not even going to read the contract? He's like, oh, I read the contract, you dumbass, this morning with my advocate, Paul Heyman. And it's just like, stuff like that is like great. It's just great. Like you said, Paul Heyman's doing a great job. They're both doing a great job. I really enjoy it. And then and they're keeping it going with how it went in the match, where it's like, and Michael Cole said something that I noticed, but it's a big part of storytelling, where most times when you see a Paul Heyman match, or a match where Paul Heyman's Brock, CM Punk, Roman, anyway, less with Roman, but with the other two for sure, Paul's very animated on outside the ring. But with this match, he was not at all. And that's something Michael Cole said on commentary, was like how Paul was not as animated. He was very standoffish in this match, and then he goes to finally do something, and he just grabs the title and throws it in the middle and just says, you know what to do with it, and turns around and walks off. And it's like, okay, who is he? And then you get the whole story of, oh, who's he throwing it to? Who is it meant for? And then it's just, you're going to keep the story going. And then the Usos come out, super kick Brock. Roman hits him with the title. I think, did he spear him after?
No, he just hits him with the title, and that was it. 1, 2, 3.
That's something. Yeah, because the stupid double ref thing. I hate when refs get knocked out, but then
a new ref shows up.
What should have happened? Because the new ref, obviously, if he's running out there, he obviously seen the cheating happen, disqualification. But it should have been where Little Nate, what's his name?
Charles Robinson.
Charles Robinson. I knew his last name. He got hit, but at that point, get back up in the ring and do the count. I don't like the second ref slides in and does the count. It's dumb. in my opinion.
Yeah,
Hey, now
so
the first refs have like 1 health point.
Yeah. Oh, and this was it. It was like it was F5, and he threw Roman, and Roman's knee hit Charles Robinson, and he died. And it's funny because Brock went over and just grabbed him by his belt loop and went to pick him up.
He went negative after that point.
Yeah, he was like just picked him up like it was nothing, and then he just like, oh, okay, and then Brock just dropped him, and he hit the apron and rolled out of the ring. I was like,
that's the second time he's done that to Charles Robinson, by the way.
It's hilarious.
He did another match where Robinson was actually outside of the ring, so Brock goes out, picks him up, and throws his ass in with one hand, which is hilarious. But yeah, this was probably the best Brock has looked in the ring in probably a really long time. Like, it wasn't just the same spot, move that Brock is normally known to do for the last 5 years, let's say, when he's come back.
Yeah, him jumping over Roman into a spear was the best count, because I hate I don't hate it, it's whatever. I'm gonna run to spear and I'm gonna kick you. That's what and that's whatever. But that was the best counter to a spear, where he goes for a spear and he just jumps over him. It was great.
It was a nice leapfrog. I was like, damn. I was like, I don't know when's the last time I've seen Brock Lesnar be that agile. I mean, besides him jumping on the apron to get in the ring.
Yeah.
But in ring move, I was like, damn, Brock. Like, he did some moves for sure. Yeah. And kudos to Brock. Kudos to Roman. Kudos to Paul. They all knew exactly what their places were. And that story is going to continue. Apparently, after the match, they did an interview with Brock, and he's like, "I'm gonna see Roman on Friday." He's like, "And I'm gonna whoop his ass."
Yeah.
Technically, Brock is a free agent; he can do whatever he wants. But I heard that they want to do this feud all the way to WrestleMania, probably. And I don't even know how they're going to do that.
Yeah, that's going to be rough. That's like 6 months.
Brock only shows up for pay-per-views, maybe.
That's true, too.
Yeah. And he'll only show up to the main ones. Yeah. I say they could do this to Rumble, and that's it. But yeah, I heard that this potentially... I know Roman will potentially still be champion, at least up until this upcoming WrestleMania. Or I know even next WrestleMania, where they really want to do, it's going to be in LA, and they want to do Roman versus Rock.
Yeah, I want that as well. I mean, I thought that was something they were going to do sooner, but
they wanted to do it for this WrestleMania, but conflicts with Rock's film scheduling. So they're like, okay, well, next year is going to be LA, so they're like, it'll be easier that way.
Well, yeah. Well, that was Crown Jewel. I don't know how we talked about Crown Jewel for an hour and a half, but we did it. So, yeah, like I said, overall, I think Crown Jewel. I think it was not. I think it was better than the past shows that they've done like this.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I feel like Crown Jewel definitely hasn't been anything desirable or spectacular.
Yeah.
But I feel like this show, in which I've had probably the least amount of excitement or enjoyment that I was going to get out of the show, like I expected the least to come out of this show.
Yeah.
That I even enjoyed it better. Like, this was definitely their best.
It sounds like it was a regular pay-per-view that moved storylines forward and not just like a little special
one-off. Yeah.
For $1 billion.
Yeah. True. Yeah, feels like it kind of fits in with things. Yeah, I could see that.
And then not with all the special guest characters,
True. Yeah. Because, I mean, yeah, I would say that, yeah. Like I said, it seems like a normal WWE show to me. So, it was good. It was better than I expected.
For once.
Good. Yeah. So,
because, like I said, next to Survivor Series, you really can't fuck up Survivor Series. I know somehow they'll manage to try and do so.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Survivor Series is usually one of my favorite pay-per-views. So yeah, we're definitely building to that. That's what they're saying is the next pay-per-view. I think it's gonna be at least maybe 5 weeks away.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be at the end of
November.
November.
Yeah. But yeah. So that was like I said, Crown Jewel for an hour and a half. But we're gonna try to cover obviously more WWE stuff in future episodes. Obviously, we're going to talk about AJ's a big AEW guy. That's why we don't record these on Wednesdays, even though they can't do Dynamite on Wednesdays right now. Baseball playoffs and all that. I believe it's baseball playoffs.
It's basketball and hockey now.
Ooh, so are they going to be able to go back to Wednesdays at all?
Nope.
Yikes.
Nope. They're moving to TBS.
Oh, okay.
And that's going to be, I think they moved that up too. I think they're going to probably start making that transition for January.
Gotcha. Okay. I didn't even think about that. But, yeah, so obviously we're going to talk about everything. We're going to talk about, and we'll have, like I said, we have a couple other guys that are going to join us. We have all kinds of things planned. Obviously, this is still how everything looks right now. Still work in progress. We're trying to get some stuff out. I don't know if we're going to do it every Thursday. That's something we got to talk about. If we're going to do it every Thursday, every other Thursday, something like that, we'll figure that out. But yeah, so since this is now going on YouTube as well, I will post all of social links and stuff in the bottom, in the description. So you can follow us on, I know we have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We'll try to be more active on there. Trying to think, is there anything else we need? Like I said, we'll figure out a schedule. I know we will record Thursdays. Episodes will go out Thursday nights, Fridays, sometime in there. I got to see how this YouTube upload process is going to go because I've never done it before. So yeah, I think that's it for me. If you guys have anything else,
no.
Anything from you, AJ?
Nope, we're good.
I'm pretty sure that's copyright, and we can't do that.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure we can't do that.
Okay.
Speaking of that, I'm going to go watch Critical Role now. See you guys for the next episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, also feedback. If you guys have any feedback, comments on YouTube, social medias, we'll look at it all. And I will also tell Dustin how much everybody dislikes him. So, #fuck Dustin. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
See ya.